It was just past 1 a.m., a Tuesday night bleeding into Wednesday morning. That's usually when the city starts to feel empty. The streets lose their rhythm. Bars close. The lights from fast food joints and gas stations stand like lighthouses in a dark ocean. That's also when the weird rides start coming in. I had just dropped off a couple in the suburbs and was parked under a flickering street lamp, sipping on warm gas station coffee when I got the ping. Pickup was less than half a mile away, at the edge of an industrial area, warehouses, chain-link fences, places that don't usually show up on my map as pickup spots. But the pay looked good, and I'd seen stranger. When I got there, it was quiet. No one around. No lights. Just the skeletal outline of an old warehouse. I double-checked the address. Dead on. I almost canceled, assuming it was a prank, when I saw a figure step out from between two dumpsters. He was wearing a dark coat that looked like it had been soaked and left to dry a dozen times. Hood up. No visible face. He moved stiffly, like each step was a decision. He didn't say anything when he opened the back door. Just slid in behind the passenger seat. "Hey, you the ride for Martin?" I asked. Silence. I turned slightly, trying to see his face. It was lost in the shadows. "All right," I muttered. "Where to?" Still nothing. Then my phone buzzed. New destination added, no address, just a pin dropped deep in the woods, 15 miles out of town. Against my better judgment, I started driving. The car felt colder than before. Not like AC cold. A wet, crawling kind of cold. Like something damp and heavy was in the air. I adjusted the vents, checked the windows, they were all sealed tight. 5 minutes in, I glanced in the mirror. He hadn't moved. Still slouched, hood covering his face. But something was off. I couldn't explain it. It felt like his shape had shifted slightly, leaning more toward the center of the car. I turned up the radio. An old blues song was playing, and tried to focus on the road. At a red light, I looked again. Closer. Still no sound. No breath. Just a shape. "You good back there?" I asked, forcing a laugh. "I can stop if you need air." Nothing. I kept driving. 10 minutes later, I passed the last gas station before the forest road. It was brightly lit, buzzing with those overhead lights that always seem too loud. I considered stopping, but something told me not to. Not with him in the back. The road narrowed. Trees began to crowd the sides. My headlights barely pushed back the darkness. The pin on the map showed we were getting close. That's when I looked again. His hood was down. I swear to God, I hadn't heard anything. But it was down, and now I could see part of his face. Pale skin. Eyes that weren't reflecting light. Just two black pits. I nearly slammed the brakes. "All right, man, look, if this is some joke, it's not funny. I'm gonna stop the car and keep driving," he said. His voice wasn't loud. But it vibrated through the car like a low note on a cello, deep and hollow. I don't remember making the decision, but my foot pressed the gas. The pin on the map pulsed. We were here. It was a clearing, just a muddy lot surrounded by tall, skeletal trees. No buildings. No lights. I stopped the car. My hands were shaking. He opened the door. But he didn't get out. Instead, he leaned forward, and that's when I saw it, his eyes weren't just dark. They were empty. Like someone had scooped them out. His skin looked stretched, like a mask pulled too tight. "You saw me," he whispered. "They usually don't." Then he got out and walked toward the trees. I peeled out of there so fast my tires kicked up gravel. I didn't stop until I hit the main road, where I pulled into the gas station, ran inside, and sat under the fluorescent lights for what felt like hours. Later, when I checked my trip history, there was no record of the ride. But my car still smelled like wet leaves. And when I looked in the backseat, the imprint of a body was pressed into the seat cushion, like someone had been there far too long. Eli was used to odd passengers, drunks, flirts, the occasional creep, but nothing prepared him for the woman in the red dress. It was a Friday night, close to 2 a.m. when he got the ping from a hotel downtown. Swanky place. He assumed it was a business traveler heading to the airport. When he pulled up, the entrance was empty. No valet. No doorman. The lights inside were dim. Almost like the place was closed. But standing just outside the revolving door was a woman, tall, thin, wearing a long red dress that looked like it belonged to a different decade. Silk or satin, it clung to her in a way that suggested elegance and discomfort all at once. She opened the door and slid in without saying a word. Eli greeted her. She didn't respond. He assumed she was tired. The destination was a residential street in a quiet part of town, about 20 minutes out. As he drove, he glanced at her through the mirror. She was staring straight ahead, eyes locked on the road, hands folded neatly in her lap. No phone. No movement. After a few miles, Eli noticed something strange. Her reflection in the mirror didn't line up with her position in the seat. At first, he thought it was just the angle. But the more he watched, the clearer it became. In the mirror, she looked slightly turned, her head tilted, as if she were staring right at him. He blinked, looked back directly. She hadn't moved. But in the mirror, the reflection smiled. A slow, deliberate smile. Eli gripped the wheel tighter. "You okay back there?" he asked. The reflection smiled wider. But the woman in the seat remained still, expressionless. A cold dread settled into his spine. He turned onto a narrow road, houses spaced far apart. He could see the drop-off location ahead, an old house with boarded windows. "Is this it?" he asked. The woman nodded once. She opened the door and stepped out. Her shoes made no sound on the gravel. As she walked toward the house, Eli noticed something. Her feet didn't quite touch the ground. She passed through the locked gate like smoke. The porch light flickered on. Then off. Eli waited, unsure what to do. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. Ride completed. He looked up. The house was dark. No woman. No red dress. He checked his rearview mirror. For a second, just a second, she was sitting there again. Smiling. "This one still keeps me up." Not because it was flashy or violent, but because it felt like something broke. Something we're not supposed to see. It happened last November. I was working late to hit a bonus, doing airport pickups. Around 3 a.m., I got a request from someone named Darius, Terminal B. He was easy to spot, well-dressed, mid-30s, clean-shaven. He greeted me with a nod, tossed his small duffel in the back, and sat in the passenger seat, which was unusual but fine. He gave me an address in the city. We made small talk. He said he was visiting family. Told me about his dog. Nothing strange. I remember thinking he was one of the more normal passengers I'd had that week. We were about 10 minutes out from his destination when he got a phone call. He answered with a weird tone, soft, almost nervous. I tried not to eavesdrop, but I caught a few phrases. "No, he hasn't figured it out yet. Just a few more minutes. He still thinks I'm Darius." That's when I started to feel my heart rate spike. He noticed. "You okay, man?" he asked, smiling. I laughed awkwardly. Yeah. Long night. He smiled wider. Almost over. The rest of the ride was silent. We pulled up to a brownstone. He thanked me, grabbed his bag, and walked up the steps. I watched him go inside. Only 30 seconds later, I got another ping. Same name. Darius. Same pickup spot. Terminal B. I stared at it. It had to be a glitch. But curiosity, or maybe fear, got the better of me. I accepted. Drove back. And there he was. Standing in the exact same spot as before. Same clothes. Same bag. Same smile. He opened the back door this time. "Hey, sorry about that," he said, like we hadn't already spoken. I didn't say anything. He gave me the same address. I drove. Halfway there, I looked in the mirror. His eyes were locked on mine. Not through the mirror, into it. Like he could see me through it. Like the mirror was the real window, not the car. "You're wondering which one of us is real," he said. I slammed the brakes. He didn't lurch forward. Didn't react at all. I turned around. The seat was empty. No one there. But the duffel bag was still on the seat. And it was vibrating. Just a soft hum. Like something was trapped inside, breathing. I opened the door, tossed the bag onto the curb, and drove off without looking back. The next day, my Uber app crashed. When I reinstalled it, every ride from that night, including both Darius trips, was gone. But sometimes, when I drive past the airport late at night, I see him. Waiting. Smiling. And I know if I stop, he'll get in again. And this time, he won't get out.